I should have let her starve. That's what Maya Rodriguez thinks every night now, staring at the ceiling of her new apartment. The one with bulletproof glass and a panic room. But 3 months ago, at 2:30 a.m. in Murphy's Diner, she didn't know that buying an $8.75 bowl of chili would make her the most dangerous woman in Chicago. She didn't know the woman counting crumpled bills with shaking hands was Carmen Silva, daughter of Roberto Silva, the man who decides who lives and dies in half the city. She didn't know Carmen had been missing for 8 weeks, not because she was broke, but because she'd stolen $3 million from her father's operation before disappearing into the night. And Maya definitely didn't know that Carmen had come to Murphy's Diner to say goodbye. 3 months earlier, the neon sign flickered up as Maya wiped down table 12 for the 4th time. Her sneakers had holes that let in the November cold, and her mother's chemo bill sat unpaid in her locker. But she smiled anyway because that's what you did at 2:30 a.m. when the world felt broken. The woman who walked in looked like Maya felt like. She was holding herself together with prayer and stubbornness. Dark hair escaping from a messy bun, clothes clean but worn thin. Eyes that darted toward the exit every few seconds, like she expected someone to burst through the door. She's running from something, Maya thought, then pushed the thought away. Everyone was running from something. Evening, hun. What can I get you? The woman's hands trembled as she reached for the menu. Just coffee. Black. Maya poured the coffee and watched the woman count her money. Once, twice, a 3rd time, her lips moving silently with the numbers. When Maya brought the check, $3.50, the woman's face went white. I'm sorry, I thought I had. Could I just pay for 1 cup? Say no, Maya's practical brain whispered. You need every dollar. But Maya looked at this woman and saw herself 6 months ago, when pride was the only thing between her and begging. We made too much chili tonight, Maya lied, sliding into the booth. Company policy says I have to throw it out. The woman's eyes filled with tears. I can't, you'd be doing me a favor. As the woman ate, the story tumbled out between bites. Name Carmen Silva. Lost her job 6 weeks ago. Living in her car. Too proud to go home. What she didn't say, the job was bookkeeping for her father's import business. The pride was really terror. And home was a mansion where 3 people had disappeared in the last month for asking too many questions. When Carmen finished eating, Maya paid the $8.75 out of her own tips. Carmen grabbed her hand. How do I repay this? Pay it forward someday. Carmen squeezed back, and for the first time in 2 months, she didn't want to die. Maya went back to wiping tables, thinking about kindness and small miracles. She had no idea she'd just signed her own death warrant. The gun was heavier than Maya expected. She'd practiced this moment every night for 3 weeks, ever since Roberto Silva's men had visited her apartment. Ever since they'd explained, very politely, that helping Carmen was an act of war against the Silva family. Ever since they'd shown her photos of what happened to people who interfered with family business. But standing in Silva's office at 3 a.m., watching him sleep in his leather chair, Maya realized she'd never actually planned what came after pulling the trigger. 3 days after the diner, Maya's Uncle Frank dropped his coffee mug, and the sound echoed through Murphy's Diner like a gunshot. But Frank wasn't looking at the mess. He was staring at the black limousine, pulling up outside the kind, with tinted windows that reflected like mirrors. 6 men in identical suits stepped out, moving like a machine designed for violence. The lead man had silver hair and eyes that had seen too much death. Maya's blood turned to ice. They walked in single file, and the cheerful door chime sounded like a funeral bell. Maya Rodriguez. The silver-haired man's voice was quiet, controlled. Yes, Roberto Silva. I believe you helped my daughter. His daughter? The words hit Maya like a physical blow. Carmen Silva. Silva? How had she missed that? She told me what you did, Roberto continued. She also told me what she stole from me before she disappeared. $3 million. Miss Rod, from men who kill for 1,000. Maya's hands shook. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. You saw a hungry woman and bought her dinner. Simple kindness. His smile was winter cold. Unfortunately, kindness can be more dangerous than bullets. One of his men shifted, and Maya glimpsed metal under his jacket. Here's what happened, Roberto said, settling into the booth like he owned the place. Carmen called me, crying, after you fed her. Said a stranger had shown her more love than her own family. Said maybe she didn't have to run anymore. His voice cracked. My daughter came home because of you. Maya blinked. She came home. Oh yes. With my money. Full of stories about redemption and second chances. Roberto's eyes hardened. Which created a problem. You see, when word gets out that Roberto Silva's daughter can steal $3 million and come home to forgiveness, every soldier, every lieutenant, every street dealer starts thinking they can do the same. The diner was silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights. So now I have to choose, Roberto continued. Kill my daughter to send a message, or ... He gestured toward Maya. Find another way to balance the scales. Maya's mouth went dry. What do you want? Roberto reached into his jacket and pulled out a thick envelope. Carmen is in therapy now. Getting help. She told me she wants to be like someone who helps people instead of hurting them. He placed the envelope on the table. $75,000. Blood money, you might call it. Maya stared at the envelope. I don't understand. It's simple. You take this money and you disappear. New city, new life, new name. You never contact Carmen again, never mention the Silva family to anyone, and you spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. His smile was sharp as broken glass. Because if you don't take it, I have to kill you anyway. Can't have loose ends talking to police? Maya's hands trembled as she opened the envelope. The check was real. So was the note underneath it. Choose life. Please. See Carmen's handwriting? She knows, Maya whispered. She insisted on writing the note. Said you deserved to understand the choice. Roberto stood. You have 24 hours to decide. Take the money and run, or ... double quotes. He shrugged. Well, Carmen will need a new inspiration. As the men filed out, Maya sat frozen, staring at the check. Around her, the diner slowly came back to life, but everything had changed. Frank slid into the booth across from her. Maya, who the hell was that? Maya folded the check with numb fingers. Carmen's father. And she looked at her uncle's pale face and made a decision that would haunt her forever. He wants to pay me for helping her. It was the first lie Maya had ever told Frank. It wouldn't be the last. That night, Maya emptied her bank account, bought a gun from a dealer who didn't ask questions, and started planning Roberto Silva's murder. Because some debts can't be paid with money. Because some kindness comes with a price too high to bear. And because sometimes, when you save someone's life, you discover that yours was forfeit all along. The safety clicked off in the dark office. Maya had 20 minutes before Silva's security made their next round. 19 minutes to decide if kindness was worth dying for. 18 minutes to discover what she was really made of. 17 ... Do you think Maya should have pulled the trigger? What would you do in her place? Comment below with your answer. Like. If you believe kindness always comes with a price, subscribe. For more stories that will change your perspective, share if you know someone who needs to hear this.